One Nation has declared it's running to govern Victoria, vowing it can win enough seats this November to be in charge. But tonight, a vocal group of protesters is converging on Pauline Hanson's fundraising event in Hawthorn, and Edward Godfrey is there outside the Tower Hotel. Ed, police are ready.
Alicia, this has been building for some time, of course, but it's all unfolding right now as we go to air. We're outside the Tower Hotel in Hawthorn East, where Pauline Hanson is hosting this One Nation event after unveiling her Victorian candidates. But behind me here, you can hear a very vocal protest. This is the campaign against racism and fascism. Somewhere between 400 and 500 of them gathered around the corner at Victoria Road Reserve about an hour ago. There were some speeches with the megaphones, and then they began marching through the back streets towards the Tower Hotel, watched very closely by police. There are dozens and dozens of Victorian police here. You can see we've got the barricades up next to us here, public order response teams, lots of police wearing their helmets and their riot gear, prepared for any potential clash. We know that Pauline Hanson's event is getting underway inside the Tower Hotel at the moment. Victorian police have said that they respect everyone's right to protest, but they're asking everyone does it peacefully and responsibly. There's also going to be some traffic disruptions here for quite some time, with the roads blocked off about a block in either direction, Alicia. So this, we expect, is going to continue on throughout the event unfolding inside the Tower Hotel.
OK, we'll wait to see how that develops. Ed Godfrey there, thank you.
400 protesters marched on a hotel in Hawthorn, and Pauline Hanson walked straight through them without blinking. Quick pause before we continue. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notifications so you do not miss any updates. Now, let us get into it.
We'll take you inside that sold event now, where we find state political reporter Heidi Murphy. Heidi, you've actually just spoken with Pauline Hanson.
Yeah, that's right, Alicia. She managed to make it through the ring of steel and into the venue. About half an hour ago, she was heckled by a couple of protesters as she arrived. She's expecting many more friendly faces inside the room, about 300 people to be at this fundraiser tonight. I spoke very briefly with Senator Hanson and asked her what she made of the comments being yelled at her outside.
I'm not interested in what they have to say, right? Have you say at the ballot box. I really don't care.
Will we see much of you between now and November?
Yes, you are, actually. I've already planned to actually come down a few other times.
Now, part of the event tonight is not just to fundraise, but to also to introduce the newly selected candidates for One Nation, something that was done in a slightly more formal setting earlier today. The new faces of the Orange Wave.
Can I have the candidates behind me, please?
Pauline Hanson declaring
This state is a basket case.
and one she says fed-up voters can now turn around.
They're crying out for change. That's why we're getting so much support.
Chosen as her state leader and aspiring premier,
Thanks very much, boss.
Army veteran and long-time campaigner Warren Pickering.
We intend for this to be November to remember, and we are contesting to govern.
Confident they can win enough seats in their own right.
We've got 4 months to earn the trust of Victorians, and we intend to do just that.
He'll run in Pakenham, one of Labor's most marginal seats, which is being vacated by Emma Vullen. The 7 other candidates include former Moira Deeming backer and Liberal member Colleen Harkin.
I'm very proud to be contributing.
And Chris Burson, a former police officer who spent time assigned to security detail for Dan Andrews.
The rest of the lower house candidates will be announced.
One Nation officially launched its Victorian election campaign at the Tower Hotel, and it did not go unnoticed. Protesters from the campaign against racism and fascism gathered at Victoria Road Reserve before marching toward the venue. Here's where it gets interesting. Victoria Police were not taking any chances, deploying public order teams, barricades and helmeted officers, with road closures stretching a full block in every direction. But here's the thing. When Hanson arrived, she was met with heckling from the crowd, and her response was blunt. "I am not interested in what they have to say," she said, before walking straight inside.
as will policy details.
We are not making policy on the run here.
The only hints on offer today, crime and corruption are priorities.
The One Nation Government Royal Commission won't be a soft touch. It will have teeth and heads will roll.
A week on from a Premier being rolled and two of her allies quitting, government MPs back for another meeting to elect one new minister, Ben Carroll opting not to fill all 3 vacancies to save some cash.
It doesn't pass the pub test if you're having multiple ministers signed in 12 weeks out before a campaign begins. So we're reducing the size of the ministry.
He's refusing to say yet how many job titles will change in that ministry, though there is plenty of speculation. Are you going to be Treasurer?
I'm happy to serve in any way I possibly can.
And what role do you expect at Treasurer?
Oh, look, as I said, I'm just looking forward to a new minister.
Labor's changes of little interest to the newest players.
We know that doesn't make our job any easier or harder. We know that party's trying to rebrand.
They've just moved the decks on the Titanic. It's still sinking.
Yeah.
Heidi Murphy.
Supporters and donors packed the venue for a fundraiser and candidate launch. Leading the charge, Army veteran Warren Pickering, One Nation's newly appointed state leader, who declared the party's ambition to win enough seats to govern Victoria on its own. That's not even the crazy part. The candidate list includes former Labor MP Moya Deeming, ex-Liberal member Colleen Harkin, and Chris Bearson, a former police officer who once worked security detail for Premier Dan Andrews himself.
So what Labor keeps saying is an attack that there'll be a coalition of One Nation, Labor, the Liberals.
We don't see it. We see that we can win in our own right. Like I said, we've got access to data sets that nobody else has access to.
So the polling is
we are confident.
I'm telling you,
sort of close?
both the political parties, the Labor and the Liberal Party, are very concerned about the polling of One Nation. They're very concerned about keeping their power and positions. They have failed the people of this state. That's why it's in the situation it is now. So we are here as ordinary Australians, standing up, fighting for our state, our country. We want it back.
Can you just explain why
Okay.
just so we know?
Oh, ABC were denied entry into here, and The Guardian. I'm not putting up with their rubbish. I'm not putting up with their spin, their lies whatsoever. I want truth and honesty. You get it from me, I expect it back from the media.
Look, to elaborate on that, and to elaborate on that just a little bit, we expect and invite a healthy amount of scrutiny of our candidates and our policy positions. However, any blatant character assassination attempts based on fabrications of our candidates will be met with swift legal action.
But before you leave, I just want to... Do you think that the media that's upset about the fact that the ABC and The Guardian and The Age are not invited for this, that weren't upset when Daniel Andrews revoked, let's say, Rebel News, dragged them out of Parliament, they weren't upset then about freedom of the press and are suddenly upset? Do you think that they should take a look in the mirror?
Excuse me, there's a lot of media here. Are you really concerned the ABC aren't here?
Well, this lady was.
In a democracy, shouldn't all media have access to a press conference, particularly if you're, as you say, running to form government at the November state election?
Did you say that to
That democracy, I'm sorry, that democracy doesn't happen on the ABC at all. And I'm sick of it's not fair and just in their reporting. So if you want to criticise and have a go at me not putting the truth across, you're not giving me the truth of democracy either. And so therefore, no, I'm not going to have them. This isn't the first time. I denied them entry into my meeting halls and everything in 1996 for 8 months. And the same will go with The Guardian. I'm not putting up with the spin, gotcha moments, wanting to have a go at me or treat us totally different to what you do the other major political parties. Enough is enough.
So you
give me a fair go, I'll give you a fair go back. The ABC never does.
Is there something they can do? What do these outlets need to do to have you reconsider that?
Let's re-ask the question. Would you do the same thing Daniel Andrews did to Rebel News and ban them from Parliament just the same way? And the media had no problem. She didn't ask Daniel Andrews if he was against democracy at the time.
That will be up to the members of Parliament at that time, right? I'm not going to have a say. I'm not going to be in the Victorian Parliament. That will be up to the people here. I have control over this today. My being here, and I've made the decision.
Pauline, far be it from me to defend the ABC, but aren't you cutting off your nose to spite your face here? Don't you need your message to get out to regional Victoria in particular, and you need the ABC, the national broadcast, to be able to carry that?
We've got Rebel News here. I'm happy with them.
And it doesn't stop there. One Nation is promising a royal commission with real teeth, one with the power to hold officials accountable and force resignations, not just produce another report that sits on a shelf. Little did Labor expect the timing. This launch comes straight after the ousting of a Premier and the resignation of 2 allied MPs, forcing Labor to shrink its own ministry just to avoid the appearance of fiscal waste. So how did this happen? One Nation calling Victoria a basket case and daring voters to believe them. What does this mean for you? A party once dismissed as fringe, now positioning itself as a genuine contender for government, one fundraiser at a time. This video is based on publicly reported coverage of the campaign launch event. If you found this update valuable, subscribe for more Australian political coverage.